is Thursday, October 29. Welcome to CGN News. The Barbados Parliament has agreed to extend the current state of emergency until March 27 next year. This as the opposition said the government was sending mixed signals regarding efforts to curb the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. The initial state of emergency took effect in March this year and lasted for 6 months. Attorney General Dale Marshall said the government felt it best to further extend it to ensure that Barbados remains a safe place. But opposition leader Joseph Atherley told legislators that some of the same voices calling for the extension were pictured last weekend hugging and celebrating without any thought for physical distancing. He denounced the mixed message. Barbados has recorded 233 positive cases and 7 deaths. Trinidad and Tobago health authorities have confirmed that the country recorded its youngest death from the coronavirus after a teenager with prevailing medical conditions passed away. Media reports said that the 18-year-old was diabetic and died within the past 48 hours. Dr. Richards did not disclose further details about the person, in keeping with the practice adopted by health officials in maintaining patient confidentiality. The Ministry of Health said that 5,594 persons have tested positive for the virus, of which 1,276 are active. It said that there were 33 additional positive cases and that the number of deaths stand at 107. Jamaica's Ministry of Agriculture says that the damage to crops, livestock and infrastructure caused by continuous rainfall over the last 4 days is almost at $2 billion. The ministry said the figure is based on a preliminary estimate for both crops and livestock by the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. According to a ministry statement, 11,072 farmers lost a combined total of 14,076 hectares of crops, with an estimated preliminary value of just under $1 billion. The ministry said that based on preliminary data, the loss for livestock is estimated at some $30.4 million among 755 farmers. The heaviest losses were from poultry. 17 Jamaican schools will participate in the phased resumption of face-to-face classes beginning November 9. The 2-week pilot will assess the ability of schools to hold classes amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The schools are in the parishes of Clarendon, Manchester, Portland, St. Anne, St. Elizabeth, St. James, Westmoreland, St. Thomas and Trelawney, and will see some 5,800 students returning to physical school. Education Minister Favour Williams did not name the schools, but 5 high and 12 primary schools will be participating. The 17 schools were selected from a group of 73 deemed to be at low risk for COVID-19 transmission, based on a number of variables, including low or no infection in the communities they are located. A fast-moving Zeta weakened to a tropical storm as it barreled northeast Thursday morning. Zeta ripped through Louisiana and Mississippi, where residents were advised to stay indoors while officials assessed the havoc the storm had wrought. The storm raged onshore Wednesday afternoon in Louisiana as a strong Category 2 and moved swiftly across New Orleans into neighboring Mississippi. The storm killed at least one person, a 55-year-old man who a Louisiana coroner said was electrocuted by a downed power line in New Orleans. Before dawn Thursday, about 1.8 million customers across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama and Georgia were without power, according to the website poweroutage.us. 3 people were killed in a knife attack at a church in the French city of Nice on Thursday. Nice Mayor Christian Estrosi said 2 of those who died were attacked inside the church, an elderly woman who was beheaded and a man who was found with his throat cut. The BBC reports that a woman managed to flee to a nearby cafe after being stabbed several times, but she later died. A suspect was shot and detained shortly afterwards. The attack follows days of protests in some Muslim countries, triggered by the French president's defense of a publication of cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad. France has raised its national security alert system to its highest level. Still in France, French President Emmanuel Macron has announced a second national lockdown. Macron said starting on Friday, people would only be allowed to leave home for essential work or medical reasons. Non-essential businesses such as restaurants and bars will close, but schools and factories will remain open, the BBC reports. COVID daily deaths in France are at the highest level since April. On Tuesday, 33,000 new cases were confirmed. Macron said the country risks being overwhelmed by a second wave that will be harder than the first. Voters in Tanzania have cast ballots in an election overshadowed by opposition allegations of widespread irregularities. President John Magufuli seeks a second term in office despite criticism by the opposition of stifling dissent since he took office 5 years ago. Nicknamed by his supporters the Bulldozer, the 60-year-old has won plaudits for his efforts to strengthen the economy, reduce wasteful public spending, and pursue large-scale development projects. Some 29 million people had registered to vote in Wednesday's elections. Results declared by the Electoral Commission cannot be challenged in court. The appointment of Nigeria's ex-finance minister to lead the World Trade Organization, the WTO, has been thrown into doubt after the U.S. opposed the move. On Wednesday, the WTO Nominations Committee recommended the appointment of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She would be the first woman and first African to lead the organization. But the selection process to find the next Director General hit a roadblock when Washington said it would continue to back South Korea's trade minister. The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative said the WTO must be led by someone with real hands-on experience in the field. Okonjo-Iweala said she was immensely humbled to be nominated. A mural of the world's first black professional footballer, Arthur Wharton, was unveiled on Wednesday in Darlington, England. Wharton's extraordinary achievements are now celebrated in the town where it all began after a resident campaigned for 12 years. The mural was unveiled on the side of a building that has been named the Arthur Wharton Foundation. Born in Ghana in 1865, Wharton migrated to England to train as a missionary. He began his career in Darlington in 1885 and was part of the team that reached the FA Cup semi-finals before going on to represent other clubs during a career which spanned 17 years. In 2003, he was inducted into the English Football Hall of Fame. His statue was erected at St. George's Park National Football Centre in 2014. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.